Welcome to this 33rd session on banking law and operations. We are now discussing the unit number 3 of the subject as per syllabus. In that unit number 3, banking operations, we had 3 topics: collecting banker, paying banker, and lending operations. In the previous sessions or so, we have discussed the concepts related to collecting banker, paying banker, related topics. And here onwards, we are focusing on lending operations. In this particular session, we will be discussing principles of bank lending. ಸಮರ್ಥ ಸಾಲ ನೀಡಿಕೆಯ ತತ್ವಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸೆಷನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ವಿವರವಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿಸಿಕೊಡಲಾಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಇದು 3ನೆಯ ಚಾಪ್ಟರು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಲಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು 3ನೇ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಓದ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಒಂದು ವಸೂಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರು, ಪಾವತಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಾಲ ನೀಡಿಕೆಯ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಆಚೆ ಹಿಂದೆ ಸೆಷನ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಪಾವತಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರು ಮತ್ತೆ ವಸೂಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಂಡನೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಈಗ ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದೆ ಲೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಲ ನೀಡಿಕೆಯ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆನ್. ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್. As we all know that the primary functions of banker or banking institution is accepting deposits from public and lending such deposits and other capital if a bank has in the form of loans and advances. So one of the primary functions of the commercial bank is lending. It is by lending money in the form of loans and advances that the bank earn a major part of their income. Another major part of income which a banker earns is on investments. But we are focusing now here on lending operations. Therefore, we are giving much importance to lending only. Banks provide loans and advances to businessmen, industrialists, general public, agriculturists, and other organizations against the security of some assets or on the basis of the personal security of the borrower. In either case, the banks run the risk of default in repayment. As loans and advances are least liquid and are not very safe, therefore banker must be very careful in lending the loans, because the securities given as collateral may not pay off loans and advances in full if there is any default. Therefore, being a trustee of people's funds, general public's funds, banks have to follow sound lending principles in the matter of lending. Banks in India have to consider the national interest along with their own interest of earning interest income while determining the lending policy. ಸಾಲ ನೀಡಿಕೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕುಗಳ ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಕಾರ್ಯವಾಗಿದೆ, ವ್ಯವಹಾರವಾಗಿದೆ ಎಂಬುದು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿನ ಬಂಡವಾಳದ ಬಹುಭಾಗವನ್ನ ಸಾಲ ನೀಡಿಕೆಗಾಗಿ ವಿನಿಯೋಗಿಸಲಾಗುತ್ತದೆ ಎಂಬುದು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಸಾಲ ನೀಡಿಕೆಯು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿನ ಬಹುಮುಖ್ಯ ಆದಾಯ ತರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಆಧಾರ ಸ್ತಂಭ. ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕುಗಳು ಸಾಲಗಳನ್ನು ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ, ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ, ಕೈಗಾರಿಕೆ, ಕೃಷಿ ಈ ತರದ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಸಾಲವನ್ನು ನೀಡುತ್ತಿರುತ್ತವೆ. ಆದರೆ ಸಾಲವನ್ನು ನೀಡುವಾಗ ಆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಾಲ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಭದ್ರತೆಯನ್ನ ಪಡೆಯಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಸಾಲ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಭದ್ರತೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಸಾಲವನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬಹುದು. ಹೇಗಾದರೂ ಸಾಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರಲಿ, ಸಾಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಂದರೆಗೆ ಒಳಪಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಯಾವ ತೊಂದರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ವಾಪಸಾತಿಯ ತೊಂದರೆ. ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸಸ್, ಸಾಲಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಮುಂಗಡಗಳು, ಅವುಗಳು ಪೂರ್ಣ ದ್ರವತ್ವವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ದ್ರವತ್ವ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಹಣ ವಾಪಸ್ಸು ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಸುರಕ್ಷತೆಯೂ ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಭದ್ರತೆಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವಲ್ಲವೇ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಭದ್ರತೆಗಳು ಸಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾರಾಟವಾಗದೇ ಹೋಗಬಹುದು, ಸಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಹಣವಾಗಿ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಆಗದೇ ಹೋಗಬಹುದು, ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಸಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಆದರೂ ಸಹ ಆ ರೀತಿಯ ಭದ್ರತೆಗಳು ಅಂದರೆ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟೀಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಆಸ್ ಕೊಲ್ಯಾಟ್ರಲ್, ಅವು ಪೂರ್ಣ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತಹ ಸಾಲಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಮುಂಗಡಗಳನ್ನು ವಾಪಸ್ ಮಾಡುವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತವೋ ಇಲ್ಲವೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಸಾಲಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಬಹಳ ದಿನಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಸಮಯವನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ವಾಪಸಾತಿಗಾಗಿ. ಈಗ ಸಾಲ ಕೊಡುವಾಗ ಭದ್ರತಾ ಆಸ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿರಬಹುದು, ಆದರೆ ಸಾಲ ಮರುಪಾವತಿ ಆಗುವಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಭದ್ರತಾ ಆಸ್ತಿಗಳ ಬೆಲೆ ಕುಸಿದಿರಬಹುದು. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ವಾಪಸಾತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ ಸಾಲ ಎಂಬುದು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರ್ನಿಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಆದುದರಿಂದ ಸಾಲವನ್ನು ಕೊಡುವಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರು ಕೆಲವು ತತ್ವಗಳನ್ನು, ಸಾಲ ನೀಡಿಕೆಯ ತತ್ವಗಳನ್ನು ಅನುಸರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಆ ತತ್ವಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸೆಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳಲಿದ್ದೇವೆ. Principles of bank lending are considerations of sound bank lending. ಸಾಲ ನೀಡಿಕೆಯ ಒಂದು ಸಮರ್ಥ ಸಾಲ ನೀಡಿಕೆಯ ತತ್ವಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಸಮರ್ಥ ಸಾಲ ನೀಡಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಬೇಕಾದಂತಹ ಅಂಶಗಳು. ಹಲವಾರು ಅಂಶಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ವರ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಮಚ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ, liquidity and profitability. Banks in India have shouldered additional responsibility of fulfilling social obligations. Hence, the banks observe both the traditional and certain other principles. All those considerations have been grouped as below for clear understanding. One is grouped as considerations with respect to the bank. Second one, considerations with respect to the customer, that is the borrower. Consideration with respect to the proposal, that is the loan, objective of the loan, and other considerations. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರು ತನ್ನ ಸಾಲ ನೀಡಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ತತ್ವಗಳನ್ನು ಅನುಸರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹಲವಾರು ಅಂಶಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ನೀಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕಾಲದಿಂದಲೂ ಸಹ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರ್ಗಳು ಮೂರು ಮುಖ್ಯ ವಿಷಯಗಳಿಗೆ, ಸಾಲವನ್ನು ನೀಡುವಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂರು ಮುಖ್ಯ ವಿಷಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ನೀಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದರು. ಒಂದು ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಸುರಕ್ಷತೆ, ಎರಡನೇದು ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡಿಟಿ ದ್ರವ್ಯತೆ, ಮೂರನೇದು ಲಾಭ. ಈ ಮೂರು ಉದ್ದೇಶಗಳನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಸಾಲಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಆದರೆ ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗಳು, ವ್ಯಾವಹಾರಿಕ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗಳು, ತಾಂತ್ರಿಕ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗಳು, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗಳ ಒಂದು ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇತರೆ ವಿಚಾರಗಳಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಂತೂ ಭಾರತದ ಸರ್ಕಾರಗಳು ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಗಳನ್ನು ಪೂರೈಸಲು ಹಲವಾರು ರೀತಿಯ ಯೋಜನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಜಾರಿಗೆ ತರುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಆ ಉದ್ದೇಶಗಳಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರು ಸಾಲಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಹಲವಾರು ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನು, ಹಲವಾರು ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಸಮರ್ಥ ಸಾಲ ನೀಡಿಕೆಯ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಈ ಥರದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಗುಂಪುಗಳನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿನ ಪರವಾಗಿರುವಂಥ ಅಂಶಗಳು, ಬ್ಯಾಂಕು ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಬೇಕಾದ, ಬ್ಯಾಂಕು ತನಗೆ ತಾನೇ ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಬೇಕಾದ ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಅಂಶಗಳು. ಎರಡನೆಯದು ಗ್ರಾಹಕನ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಾಲ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಬೇಕಿರುವಂತಹ ಅಂಶಗಳು. ಮೂರನೇದು ಸಾಲದ ಉದ್ದೇಶ, ಸಾಲ ಯಾತಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನೀಡಲಾಗುತ್ತಿದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಾಲದ ವಿಚಾರವಾಗಿ ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಬೇಕಿರುವಂತಹ ಅಂಶಗಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇತರೆ ಅಂಶಗಳು. ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ 4 ಗುಂಪುಗಳನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ತತ್ವಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ವಿವರಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. Let me take up a first group, that is considerations with respect to the bank. While lending loans and advances, a bank should look into its own position regarding liquidity, safety and profitability. If the loans are having the capacity of converting into cash immediately and they are safe and profitable, then the banker will be on safer side. Let us discuss one by one. First one, liquidity. Liquidity generally refers to the ability of an asset to be converted into cash without much loss within a short period of time. ದ್ರವ್ಯತ್ವ ಅಥವಾ ದ್ರವತ್ವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಒಂದು ಆಸ್ತಿಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಷ್ಟವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಹಣವಾಗಿ ನಗದಾಗಿ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆಯಾಗುವಂತಹ ಯೋಗ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನ ದ್ರವತ್ವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಇದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರು ಇತರರ ಹಣದಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ. He is dealing with some others' money, public's deposits. So as acting as trustee of public, he must see that his lending must have the liquidity. The liabilities of a bank, that is deposits of money received from the public, are repayable on demand or at a short period of notice. So to meet the demand of the depositors in time, the banker should keep its funds in liquid state. Whenever there is demand for funds from its customers, bank must be in a position to pay such deposits back to the customers. If not, bank will lose the faith, trust of general public. ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರಿನ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳು ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಿರುವುದೇ ನಂಬಿಕೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ. ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯವರು, ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳಾಗಿರಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಅಣ್ಣ ತಮ್ಮಂದಿರಾಗಿರಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೆಯವರ, ಇವರಿಗೆ ಹಣವನ್ನ ನಾವು ನಂಬಿಕಸ್ಥರಾಗಿದ್ದರೂ ಸಹ ನಂಬಿಕೊಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಹಣ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ ನಂಬಿಕೊಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಅವನನ್ನ ನಂಬಿ, ಅವನು ಯಾರು, ಹೇಗೆ, ಏನು ಅಂತ ತಿಳಿಯದೇ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಸಹ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಹಣವನ್ನ ಸುರಕ್ಷಿತವಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಂಬಿ ಅವನ ಹತ್ರ ನೀಡುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಆ ನಂಬಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರು ಉಳಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು. ಅಂತಹ ನಂಬಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕಾದರೆ ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕರಿಂದ ಪಡೆದಿರುವಂತಹ ಠೇವಣಿಗಳನ್ನು ಸುರಕ್ಷಿತವಾಗಿ ಅವನು ನೋಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. So in that sense, the deposits become liability for a banker. Whenever there is demand for such deposits from the general public, that is customers, he must be in a position to pay such deposits. To meet the demand of the depositors in time, the banker should keep its funds in liquid state. That does not mean he should keep all the funds in liquid state without lending. ಆತರ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಬಂದಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಠೇವಣಿಗಳನ್ನ ಆಗಾಗ್ಗೆ ಎಣಿಸಿ ಅದದೇ ನೋಟುಗಳನ್ನ ಒಂದು ತಿಜೋರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. He must utilize such deposits for earning his own income. So he has to lend them, he has to invest them to earn his income. Therefore, he should keep with him certain sum of money in the form of liquid state. Otherwise, he should see that his lendings are liquid in nature. Whenever he calls back such loans and advances, they must be in a position to pay back. So that is the meaning of liquidity principle here. He has to see that his advances are not locked up but come back readily or immediately. This principle of liquidity emphasizes the need for maintenance of liquidity of advances. In order to ensure that his advances are liquid, readily realizable, readily saleable, readily available, the banker should see that his advances are given mainly for short term, that is for working capital requirements of borrowers, etc. Very short term. So that does not mean that to maintain a liquidity position he should not provide long-term loans. He has to provide long-term loans. But when we come to the liquidity principle exclusively, you must give advances to short-term purposes only. Then, even if some advances are given for medium term and long term, the banker should make his advances sufficiently liquid by insisting upon their repayments in periodical installments. Again, he should see that the collateral securities which he accepts are realizable easily without much loss in the event of default of the borrowers in the repayment of their advances. So you should see that if he gives advances for longer term, they must be repaid in periodical installments so that he will have money for circulation. So this is the principle of liquidity. Next one is safety. Safety has been the most important principle of sound lending because the very existence of a bank depends upon the safety of its funds. A bank lends what it receives from the public as deposits. Therefore, while lending is funds, the banker has to see that the funds lent out by him are safe. That means the loans and advances would come back in the normal course without being forced or resorted to legal action or sale of securities to recover the advances. ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ತೊಂದರೆಗಳಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಹಣ ಸಾಲವಾಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತಹ ಹಣ ವಾಪಸ್ಸಾಗುವಂತಹ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸುರಕ್ಷಿತವಾಗಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಸಾಲಗಳನ್ನು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರು ನೀಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. Therefore, safety depends upon the security offered by the borrower and the repaying capacity and willingness of the debtor to repay the loan with interest. So observe here, security may be given. ಆಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಭದ್ರತೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಭದ್ರತೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಅದರ ಬೆಲೆ ಅಷ್ಟಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಸಾಲ ಮರುಪಾವತಿ ಅವಧಿ ಬರುವಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಭದ್ರತೆಯ ಆಸ್ತಿಗಳ ಬೆಲೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. ಭದ್ರತೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದರೂ ಸಹ ಆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಾಲ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಮರುಪಾವತಿಯ ಯೋಗ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರ್ ನೋಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಮರುಪಾವತಿ ಯೋಗ್ಯತೆ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಸಹ ಕೆಲವು ಸಾಲಗಾರರು ಸಾಲ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿರುವಂಥವರು ಇಷ್ಟಪಡುವುದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ವಾಪಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಶೋ ವಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ನೆಸ್ ಟು ರೀಪೇ ದ ಲೋನ್ ವಿತ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಸತಾಯಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಸಾಲ ಕೊಡುವುದನ್ನು ಸತಾಯಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಕೊಡೋದಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮುಂದೆ ಕೊಡೋದಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ. ಇಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರ್ನಿಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಸಾಲಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಸುರಕ್ಷತೆ ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ the banker should ensure that the security offered is adequate and readily realizable and the borrower is a person of integrity, good character and reputation. ತನಗೆ ಸಾಲ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿರುವಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಉತ್ತಮ ಗುಣವುಳ್ಳವನು, ವಾಪಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಇಷ್ಟ ಇರುವವನು ಆಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರ್ನ ಸಾಲ ಸುರಕ್ಷಿತವಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ. So he must, while lending, banker must see whether his funds will be safe or not. If he deems that his funds will not be safe, then he should not provide loans and advances to such persons. Next is profitability. Commercial banks are basically profit-making institutions. They need income, they need profits to maintain their own expenses, to maintain their own staff, to get their profits on investments, capital, etc. So they must employ their funds profitably in order to earn sufficient income to pay interest to the depositors, to meet establishment expenses, to pay salaries to the staff, to pay dividend to shareholders, and also to meet certain social responsibilities of promoting welfare of the people. So in order to ensure sufficient income, the loans and advances should fetch fair and steady return without sacrificing liquidity and safety. In other words, the banker should not give loans to such unsound parties with doubtful repaying capacity, even if they are ready to pay a very high rate of interest. ಮೊದಲು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ದರವನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನಂತರ ಕಾನೂನು ಕಟ್ಲೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಸಾಲ ತಗೊಂಡೋದವರು. ಸಾಲ ಮರುಪಾವತಿಗೆ ಅವರು ಮನಸ್ಸು ಮಾಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಹಣ ಅದೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಗಂಟಿಗೆ ಗಂಟು ಹೋಯಿತು ಬಡ್ಡಿನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಸಾಲ ಕೊಡುವಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಸಾಲದ ಮೇಲಿನ ಆದಾಯವನ್ನು ಗಮನಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದಾಯದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಆ ಅಸಲು ಸುರಕ್ಷಿತವಾಗಿದೆಯೇ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಆ ಸುರಕ್ಷತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಆದಾಯ ತರುವಂತಹ ಸಾಲ ದ್ರವತ್ವವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದೆಯೇ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡಿಟಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆರ್ ಕಾನ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಸ್. ಇದು ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ವಿರೋಧಾಭಾಸವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ದ್ರವತ್ವವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಸಾಲವನ್ನು ಕೊಡದೇ ಹೋದರೆ ಲಾಭ ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಲಾಭವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಸಾಲವಾಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ದ್ರವತ್ವ ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಇವೆರಡನ್ನು ವಿರೋಧಾಭಾಸದ ಅಂಶಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರೆಯಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಫ್ ಎ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಹಾನರ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಲೈಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್, ಇಟ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್. In the same way, if a bank wants to maximize profit, it cannot be liquid. Therefore, there is need for striking a balance, wise balance between these two aspects, liquidity and profitability. ದ್ರವ್ಯತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಲಾಭ ಇವೆರಡರ ನಡುವೆ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಂದು ಸಾಲ ಕೊಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಲಾಭ ಬರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಲೆಕ್ಕಾಚಾರ ಹಾಕಿ ಇವೆರಡನ್ನೂ ಸಹ, ದ್ರವ್ಯತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಲಾಭವನ್ನು ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಸಹ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರು ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. Let us move on to second group of considerations with respect to the customer. While lending, a banker should have a clear appraisal about the creditworthiness of the borrower, the eligibility of the borrower for a bank advance. The banker should see whether the customer is eligible, whether he has that capacity to pay back the loan. So he must see the creditworthiness of the customer. The creditworthiness of the borrower has to be assessed by the banker on the basis of borrower's character, capacity and capital. So these are the character, capacity and capital are popularly known as 3 C's of credit. 3 C's of credit. Some experts on the subject have mentioned 3 R's in place of 3 C's. In their opinion, reliability, responsibility and resources are the main points to be observed in the case of customer while lending loan. Let us take up 3 C's here. First one, character. The most important point that has to be taken into consideration in assessing the creditworthiness of the borrower is his character. ಗುಣ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಅವನ ಹಣಕಾಸಿನ ಗುಣ. ಹಣಕಾಸಿನ ಗುಣ ಏನೋ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಗುಣ ಅಥವಾ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಗುಣಗಳು ಬೇರೆ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಆದರೆ ಹಣಕಾಸಿನ ಗುಣಗಳು ಬೇರೆ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಬಹಳ ಉತ್ತಮವಾದ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಎನ್ನಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅವನು ಹಣಕಾಸಿನ ಸಂಬಂಧಿತವಾಗಿ ಸರಿಯಾದ ನಿರ್ಧಾರಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಲೈಕ್ ಹಣ ಇದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಜೂಜಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಹಣ ಇದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಕೊಡದೆ ಜಿಗುಟುತನ ತೋರಿಸೋ ಈ ಥರದ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಹಣಕಾಸಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆಯೇ ಗುಣಗಳು ಬೇರೆ ಇರ್ತವೆ, ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಕಳಕಳಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ಗುಣಗಳು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಗುಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. So the character of the borrower indicates his willingness to repay the advance taken by him. The willingness to repay depends upon the borrower's integrity, honesty, good character, known for fulfilling obligations, known for good reputation in business circles, and good business habits. So you should have all these characters so that he will be in a position to repay his loan. The banker must see his creditworthiness among the business circles, his capacity to fulfill his obligations, how he fulfills his words, ಮಾತು ಉಳಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಗುಣ, ಇದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವನು ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಈ ಥರದ ಒಂದು ಗುಣಗಳನ್ನು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರು ನೋಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಫರ್ದರ್, ಎ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ an extremely honest and known for integrity in fulfilling the obligations, but he may have weakness of not paying his due in time or lacking sense of responsibility. There may be others who positively dishonest. ಕೆಲವರು ಹಾನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದರೆ ಹಣಕಾಸಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ಬಹಳ ಉತ್ತಮವಾದಂಥ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂಥವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಾಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ವಾಪಸಾತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಬರೀ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ನೋಡಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಈಗ ಮಾತು ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಆದರೆ ಮುಂದೆನೂ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆದರೂ ಸಹ ಅವನ ಉತ್ತಮ ನಡವಳಿಕೆಗಳು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರ್ನಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಆಧಾರವಾಗಿ ನಿಲ್ಲುತ್ತವೆ ಸಾಲ ನೀಡುವಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. The banker should avoid all such persons while selecting the customers to give loan. Dishonest, not having a good character, not fulfilling obligations, known for bad reputation. These persons should not be allowed to get loan from the banks. Next point is capacity with respect to the customer's consideration. The second important point that has to be taken into consideration in assessing the creditworthiness of the borrower is his capacity to repay or competence to repay. The capacity of the borrower indicates his ability to run his business successfully and repay the advance. So if this is in case of a businessman. In case of a general public, or a customer who is a general layman, then the banker must see whether he has the source of repaying that loan. ಅವನಿಗೆ ಆಧಾರಗಳೇನು, ಲೋನೇನೋ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಸಾಲ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ ಸಾಲವನ್ನು ಮರುಪಾವತಿ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಯೋಗ್ಯತೆ ಆತನಿಗಿದೆಯೇ ಅಂತ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. The capacity of the borrower includes his health, education, technical skill, managerial ability, experience in a particular business, etc. So he should have that skill, that education, that health, that willingness to repay and put that loan on productive activities and earn something. These are all the things which resembles the capacity of a person in repaying his loan. So if the borrower has the necessary technical skill, managerial skill and experience to run a particular business, trade or a profession or like agricultural activities, etc., he will be considered as a deserving case for a bank advance, and the banker can provide loan to him safely. The third point under the customer consideration is capital. In assessing the creditworthiness of the borrower, banker should also give importance to his capital. Capital means here is other assets other than the security given for claiming the loan. The capital of the owner denotes his financial soundness. Capital of the borrower infuses confidence in his creditor, that is the banker. It enables the borrower to meet the losses of his business himself without shifting them to his customers, that is his creditors. ಸಾಲ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸಾಲ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಸಾಲವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಸಾಲ ಸುರಕ್ಷಿತವಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. The capital of the borrower refers to his own funds invested in his business. Therefore, if the borrower has sufficient funds of his own, the banker may consider him as eligible for the loan. If not, the banker has to think of from other aspects. Okay, so we have discussed the three aspects, three considerations with respect to customer, that is capacity, capital, and character. Let us move on. Three considerations with respect to the proposal. While advancing money, the banker should also look into the different aspects of the proposal. The following are such aspects related to the proposal, loan proposal. First point says purpose. The purpose for which advances are given goes a long way in deciding or ensuring the repayment of the advances. If advances are given by a banker for productive purposes like financing of trade, industry, agriculture, establishment of some enterprises, financing new industrialists, new ventures, startup companies, then the banker can be quite sure of recovering his advances. On the other hand, if advances are given for unproductive purposes or risky purposes where chances of failure are more, the banker cannot be sure of recovering his advances. Like financing pleasure trips, tours, then meeting domestic expenses, repayment of ancestral debts, speculative aspects in share market, then antisocial purposes. These are all unproductive in nature. They may not get back, the banker may not be in a position to get back their loan safely. Therefore, a banker should grant advances mainly for productive purposes and not unproductive purposes. Next is security. The security here means security offered to get sanctioned of loan. The security offered for an advance is a cushion, or it acts as an insurance to fall back upon in case of default of repayment of advance by the borrower. Therefore, the importance of collateral securities can hardly be exaggerated. They must be taken into consideration how much security the customer is offering. As far as possible, the security offered must be greater in value than the amount of amount of loan granted. Except for strong and convincing reasons, a banker should not grant advances without collateral or tangible securities. The collateral securities offered by the customer must be acceptable and adequate. ಸೊ ಏನೇನೋ ತಂದು ಸಾಲದ ಭದ್ರತೆಗಾಗಿ ಕೊಡುವುದಲ್ಲ, ಅವು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರ್ನಿಗೆ ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆ ಆಗುವಂತ ಇರಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತೆ ಸರಿಸಮಾನವಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಸರಿಸಮಾನ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಸಾಲದ ಹಣಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಬೆಲೆ ಉಳ್ಳದ್ದಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. The collateral securities offered by the customer must be acceptable and adequate. Further, when collateral securities are accepted, sufficient margin should be kept by the banker so as to cover interest, unpaid interest and other charges and fall in prices of securities. ಆಗ್ಲಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಭದ್ರತೆಗಳು ಕೊಟ್ಟದ್ದೇನೋ ನಿಜ, ಆದರೆ ಭದ್ರತೆಗಳು ಕೊಟ್ಟದ್ದು ಸಾಲದ ಮರುಪಾವತಿ ಅವಧಿ ಮುಗಿದರೂ ಸಹ ಆ ಒಂದು ಭದ್ರತೆಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾರಿದಾಗ ಬರುವಂತ ಹಣ ಸಾಲದ ಪೂರ್ತ ಹಣಕ್ಕೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಬಡ್ಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಕೊಡದೇ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಬಡ್ಡಿ ಮತ್ತು ಇತರೆ ಖರ್ಚುಗಳು, ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಖರ್ಚುಗಳು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತವೆ, ಅಂತಹ ಖರ್ಚುಗಳನ್ನು ಸರಿದೂಗಿಸುತ್ತಾವೆಯೇ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರ್. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರ್ ಶುಡ್ accept such collateral securities which have with sufficient margin. Income generating potentiality of the project or source of repayment. Another point the banker must keep in mind while lending a loan is the income generating capacity of the project when it is launched. The proposal should pass this test. It must have that is already discussed. The project must be productive one. It must produce some income, must produce some profit so that the loan can be repaid. Next is term or period of loan. For how many years, how many days, how many months the loan has to be sanctioned. The banker should also take into consideration the term or period for which loan is to be granted. A banker cannot afford to lock up his funds by granting loans for a longer period. So, generally a banker prefers short-term loans, already explained. It may be noted that today the banks are required to enter the area of term lending for a period of 3 to 7 years also for meeting fixed capital requirements of borrowers. The fourth main group of considerations which a banker should consider while lending loans are grouped under one heading, other considerations. Besides the above three considerations, that is considerations with respect to bank, consideration with respect to customer, and consideration with respect to the loan proposal, there are other considerations also the banker must give importance. They include collateral securities. Collateral means additional security, tangible security that can be offered by a borrower over and above his personal security is called as collateral security. Normally, in narrower sense, collateral means which is the security offered by a third party. But nowadays, it has become a general concept that collateral security is the security offered by the borrower himself. So in the broader sense, whatever security is offered, whether by the borrower personally or by third party, which is called as collateral security. So how much collateral security customer is offering to get that loan sanctioned is to be considered by the banker. The borrower who can offer acceptable and adequate tangible securities is generally considered eligible for a bank advance. Next point is conditions prevailing in the country. Economic conditions or circumstances prevailing in the country or conditions affecting the businessman, conditions affecting the borrower. Conditions or circumstances refer to business climate or the general economic trends in the business in which the borrower is engaged. If the business in which the borrower is engaged has better prospects, the borrower can be accommodated. So in this aspect, the banker has to consider the business cycles, boom period, the depression, etc. If the business of the borrower is booming, then it is better for the banker to sanction loan so that he is confident that he can get back his money. If the borrower's business is under depression or profits are not coming properly in such business, then the banker has to think of while lending his loan. Like that, economic conditions, prevailing economic conditions, prevailing business trends, prevailing climate, prevailing conditions of the purpose for which the loan has to be provided, he must take into consideration before sanctioning. Contribution here means contribution towards nation building, contribution towards economy of the country. In the present day lending, contribution is also one of the factors taken into consideration by the banker in while lending loans and advances. It refers to contribution that can be made by the borrower's business to the interest of the public, general public, and to the country. How much contribution is towards the economy, how much contribution is towards the general interest of the people, the purpose of the loan is headed. It will be taken into consideration by the banker while lending. If the business in which the borrower is engaged contributes more to the interests of the people and the country by way of increased production of essential goods, increased exports, more employment, reduction in poverty, etc. This is if that purpose of the loan or the loan is contributing to eradicate some social problems and upliftment of economy of the country, then the banker has to lend loan to such activities. Next is spread, that is diversification, vaividhyate. Another important principle of sound lending is the diversification of advances. As an element of risk is always there in every advance, however secure it might be, there should be spread of advances. That means banker should not provide loan to one sector only, one type of customers only. To be on safer side, a banker should diversify his loans into various areas, various fields. By spread or diversification of his advances, a banker will be able to spread his risks involved in lending and thereby improve the safety of his advances. For ensuring a proper diversification of his advances, he should diversify his advances over a large number of borrowers instead of giving to one person, one industry, over a good number of industries, over a wide geographical area, and over different types of securities. This diversification of advances is based on the maxim, do not keep all eggs in one basket. ಒಂದೇ ಬ್ಯಾಸ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೊಟ್ಟೆಗಳನ್ನು ಇಡಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಅದೇನಾದ್ರು ತೊಂದರೆ ಆದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೊಟ್ಟೆಗಳು ಹೊಡೆದೋಗ್ತವೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಕಳ್ತನ ಆದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ತವೆ, ಈ ಥರ. ಸೊ ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್, ಯು ಶುಡ್ engage, you should lend loans to different sectors, different geographical areas, and different people. So then only you will your risk will be minimized. So that is the principle of diversification while lending loan. Next is public or national interest. This point has been already discussed under contribution. For the sake of point and discussing other things, I have taken this. Banking industry has a significant role to play in the economic development of a country. Therefore, a banker should identify his lending business with national policies. he should grant advances to those industries which require development in the country's planning programs. It is with this view that the major commercial banks of India have nationalized. And the nationalized commercial banks as well as other banks have formulated schemes to finance small industries, new entrepreneurs, export-oriented industries, small agriculturists, etc. to develop the country economically. Next is mass lending. Today, importance is also attached to mass lending, lending to a large number of poor people especially. The lending banks are made to realize that the old concept of lending to class, to the rich people, should be given up, and the new concept of lending to the masses should be adopted. With this objective only, the present government has introduced Janadhan Khatha, and have introduced so many schemes to provide loans at very meager rate of interest to the poor people who are dependent on some teeny activities. This again will be in the interest of nation building, eradication of poverty, provision of employment opportunities, entrepreneurship among the youth, among the poor, community development, among again entrepreneurship among women. Self-help groups have been formed. So and they will get loans from banks. So like that, so many schemes are there so that to achieve this objective of poverty, unemployment, etc. Then support the government schemes. It is one of the major initiatives, major principles modern banks are taking while lending, taking into consideration while lending loans and advances. In recent times, the government is also taking steps to provide finance through various schemes in the name of Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Mudra, startups, special economic zones, subsidy schemes for agricultural activities, etc. And asking banks and other financial institutions to provide advances to fund such schemes. Cooperative societies are also providing various types of loans, and for every trade, one associations are formed. Through such associations, the banks are providing loans and advances to help such artisans and tiny industrialists to engage in their activities. It becomes inevitable in such a case. It becomes inevitable for banks to lend under such schemes in the interests of the nation. Sometimes the banks have to implement loan waiver schemes of the government and get refund of such loans from the government when such funds are released by the respective governments. ಹಲವಾರು ಸಾಲ ಮನ್ನಾ ಯೋಜನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಘೋಷಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಗಳು ಆ ಸಾಲ ಮನ್ನಾ ಯೋಜನೆಗಳ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನವನ್ನು ಸಾಲ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡವರಿಗೆ ನೀಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತದೆ ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ. ನಂತರ ಆ ಒಂದು ಹಣವನ್ನು ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟಿಂದ ವಾಪಸ್ ಪಡೆಯಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಹಳ ಸಮಯ ಹಿಡಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ಇಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕರು ತನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಹತೋಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So these are all the points to be noted by a banker while lending loans and advances to the public. So that ends the discussion now. Books for reference. Next. Thank you. We shall meet in the next session.